Ladies and gentlemen, women and children, all the people around the world, PPT Nation is back with an office hours where today we're going to talk not just about the P series. We're not going to just tell you what we hear about the P series. We had Ron on a couple weeks ago hearing directly from Dejavoo. Today we're going to tell stories of a partner of ours who's actually placed the P series, is using it. He'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all that he has learned right here. And let me bring all the beautiful people up on the screen. On the bottom right-hand part of your screen is Mr. Mike Stetzel. Mike, how are you? And are you ready to celebrate Memorial Day with style?
I am wearing one of my favorite. I'm wearing Tommy Bahama today, getting ready to celebrate spring.
Hey, look at that. Hey, Mike, I want to say we didn't plan it, but I am also wearing Tommy Bahama
Oh
that I
my
just
gosh.
purchased at a Nordstrom rack in Manhattan Beach, California, because I made an experience or a learning experience. Nordstrom Rack in Indianapolis is not as good as Nordstrom Rack in Manhattan Beach, California. I just learned that just the other day. In the upper left-hand part of your screen, Jenny Rickle. Jenny, how are you? And tell me, maybe you're going to, run 150 miles maybe this weekend or something?
I'm gonna run. It's kind of what I do, right? But nothing too crazy. We're just gonna go up and over part of the course that I'm gonna be running in August. The more that you check it out, the better you'll be prepared. So, gonna go check that out. It's gonna be cold though. I mean, it was snowing at some of the parts at higher
Oh,
elevation, like on Wednesday. So, we'll see how it goes.
Oh, so yeah, snowing May, not my thing, but it could happen up in I don't know, do you call it northern Wisconsin, in the upper right-hand corner from Wisconsin, just south of Green Bay, Mr. Ben Wickersheim. Ben, how are you? I always forget, what's the town you actually live in?
Town is Appleton.
Appleton. Yes. Okay. All I could
Close
think
enough.
of was, yeah, I wasn't getting the right one. So Ben, how are you? You're going to give us some wisdom, but can you tell us a little bit of how's life in Appleton, Wisconsin this time of year? Is it finally actually warm enough to get out on those lakes?
It's getting there. Hopefully, this weekend, if the forecast holds up, we'll be in the upper 70s, low 80s, which will make it real nice, even though the water temp's going to stay
tell
cold.
us.
But we're getting there.
That's awesome. And Ben, I do appreciate the Go Blue. And is that a Jordan? What is that
It is
poster? And
Jordan.
Jordan.
It
All
is
right.
Jordan.
I should have changed. If I flip my desk around, I can be here. I can even, I'll force it. My wall, ode to Jordan wall out there, which is not, my camera's gonna, but whoops. Yeah.
So,
As
my
my,
Jordan thing is about something famous Jordan said: the key to success is failure.
that's awesome. I have, mine says, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept trying, from Jordan. All right. Enough Jordan talk. We want to learn about what it looks like to be part of the P line series of Dejavoo. You have some of the most experience. You placed, I believe, the first P terminal in our beta system when we're getting ready to roll this out. We've now been live with all of our partners for about 3 weeks here, but we wanted to give some basic real life experiences. Can you start with, and Mike and Jenny, will have specific questions, but just give us a general overview of what it's like being able to put a P line series and what's made the good, the bad, the ugly, what your first impressions are of being able to put this in your merchants.
Impressions, the devices are phenomenal. I will tell you, the hardware is endless. You got multiple options in the P line series that we can utilize. They're fast, they're sleek, they're sexy, so they're easier to sell. There's a lot of really cool features inside that P line or the DV Pay Lite. The back office with the gateways we can utilize. There's just a lot there. It's a very good direct competition to that pay anywhere world where it gives us another option to be able to place. I will tell you that the devices are fantastic. I will say I was the first one to place out the P series, um, and everything. Knock on wood, everything's been fantastic. We've run into a couple small hiccups in the beta test, but all fixable really quick.
All right, Mike and Jenny, you've got a real live person that actually has a merchants running transactions on the P line. What are some of your first questions you want to ask Ben?
I'm curious, what's your favorite feature that you're like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm so glad that we have this. Like when you started placing it with businesses, what was like the thing that made you go, wow, this is absolutely fantastic?
Well, number one, the option of hardware, like you have, like I said before, you have an endless option of hardware. There's, I mean, 6, 7 different P series lines that you can jump into. There's really a hardware for every solution that you're going to need out in the industry. I hover a lot towards the restaurant world. That's just been my niche since day one. A lot of people don't need a full fledged POS in the restaurant world or don't want that. So how do we make that work, right? A couple of really cool features, at least that really blew my mind, is when you're using that P series, you can link all of your devices together when it comes to being able to batch out, enter all your tips, all of that stuff. Everything is linked right into one. Doesn't matter which device you grab, you can make them all accessible from one device. So your closeouts at the end of the night go quicker. Your checking of all of your tips goes much faster. So it makes things a lot easier on that side. That's, I think, the number one game changer feeling. I know you had some of that with the P series, or I'm sorry, with the Pay Anywhere series, but you still had to batch out each individual device. You do not on the
Right.
P series.
That is awesome. And being able to like pick up, well, I wish I should have, on the other side of my desk are all the devices, and I'm not going to go grab them right now because that would be more than I can handle right now. But being able to grab the P8, or not grab, use the P18, then grab a P8 and go walk someplace across and finish what you were already starting with the P18, and being up there, it's just it's extremely user friendly. I think for most of our Luddite friends that tend to be our merchants, a lot of times it's intuitive as it possibly can. It takes a little bit of training, but I think they're learning it. Mike, what's your next question for Ben?
Talk a little bit about, if you would, your experience using I guess we would call it the gateway. There's a $10 fee on every account with the P line if the agent's paying for it, and it's a $12 fee if the merchant's paying for it. And that's automatic. That has to be there. So can you talk a little bit about what some of those benefits are of that?
Absolutely. Um, when you're on the gateway side of the world, you can use, so I have I have a retail spot right now that uses the Register Lite series. They have the ability to put in products. I would not put it like a full-fledged POS, but one of the places I have sells t-shirts, all customized t-shirts, wraps for cars, tints, all of that, kind of the stuff that goes in that world. He's probably got 15 to 20 items. Super simple to add in your Register Lite. The other key that I like is basically any one of these can be utilized as like a pin pad. So if I, like in his case, he uses his computer for everything, and then when he builds the pay, so this is what that person pays. He's able to throw it from his computer right over to the device. He's got a P18 sitting there. It's flopped to the customer side. They just go right to the pay screen and they follow the prompts to pay out, and it shows right up
Yeah.
on his side that it's been paid. That's one of the many features on the back end that I like is it's multiverse. There's a lot there that you can utilize to make the merchant's life faster, easier, and give them some options from that side. It also links right to so like in his case, it links right to his invoicing tools that he utilizes inside the Dejavoo side. So he's got the same product list and he can build out an invoice and send it really quickly right from his computer. So there's a lot of really, really cool features.
That's awesome. Can we back up just a second? Because there's a question that relates to the first thing you discussed. It says, if using two P terminals, are they linked together automatically to view transactions?
I'm not going to lie, I haven't linked two P terminals together, but I would assume based on the way that I've seen it on the computer side, we should easily be able to link them together and use one as a like a pin pad. And tell me if I'm not answering this correctly, but we should be able to use one as a pin pad. And if you're linking the two together from what we talked about previously, like at my restaurant world, they go off the TPN numbers, so it's really quick and easy to see which transactions were on which device.
I
So
think Ben, he's asking, okay, I've got a P2 at the drive-thru and I got a P2 at the front counter of my coffee shop.
Yep.
Can I go to the P2 at the counter and see the transactions from the drive-thru?
Yes.
And I think
100%.
that's what you're getting at about adjusting tips and things like that. So,
Yep.
okay, cool. That is clarified. And I don't know if you want to deal with the other question right now, Nate, since it's
we'll get to Dan's question here in a little bit. We'll make that a
okay.
closer when we could finish up some of the two. But certainly, Robert, these, whether it's a P8 or you get the because you have with the even when you're doing like the P18 with the pin pad, which is the P that they put on there, that would P17.
P17, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's any of those P devices, you can pull up all the other, as long as you're on the same, setup. They're all one restaurant, all rolled. They can pull up all the devices. Ben, what have you learned of ease of use for your merchants, and how much training has it taken? How long does it, what are some maybe things you've learned that you now to make sure you say to them that's been helpful for them, that it would be helpful for other partners as they're placing these devices to be able to do that? What are some of the things you've learned in your first several installs?
Absolutely. Very, very, very quick and easy to install. Honestly, it could be in there in less than 5 minutes if you're just using it as a terminal. It's very, very quick, very, very user friendly. As far as like showing them reports and getting into all of that, it's 2 clicks and you're into reports. And then I also show the back office side of the world, because that's where they're going to see, they have the ability to see all transactions live. So if they're not there, they see everything live and linked right away. Batches they can see on the back end real easy. It kind of lays out every transaction in the batch, really, really simple. As far as installs, it depends on what you like. For me, for restaurants, they're a little bit more complicated. Do I want servers attached? Do we want tables attached in there for the tracking purposes? So it's getting to know your merchants and getting to know what their needs are, so that you can have them preset before you go in. And then from there, training is simple. I turn the device to them and kind of walk them through how to make a sale. The P8 with the customer facing screen is pretty awesome. Being a smaller device, but still having that customer facing screen makes it very easy, especially in the tip world with restaurants. It all shows right up on that customer facing screen, and the transactions are smooth and fast and easy. But as far as training goes, I could literally be in and out of there in probably less than 10 minutes. Awesome. I talk too much. I'll tell everybody I talk too much. So I like to talk to my clients and make sure I answer everything. But they're pretty simple to use.
That's awesome. Jenny, Mike, further questions?
I'm curious, as you've gone through this, what are like some tips and tricks that you would tell new sales partners that are just starting out with this? Like, if there's anything that you encounter that you wish you had known, or just something that'll make it go faster when they do the install. Because it's one thing to talk about it, but you have the experience of installing these and talking to the merchants, on a daily basis. So what would you tell a new sales partner that's just getting into placing these types of terminals?
First thing I'm going to tell you is get to know what your merchant needs are. I cannot stress that enough. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. It's not a fit for every single business. Especially like I'm going to pick on the register light side of the world, the things I wish I would have known before I started using it. There's no category options in it. There's no modifiers that you can attach to it. So it's very light, and it's knowing the merchant's needs before you try to place it. That's first and foremost. From there, all the devices are very similar. The interface is exactly the same on every single one. It's just like the P18 to the P8. You're talking much bigger to much smaller screen, but they look exactly the same. And they're easy to flip from between register light and terminal mode. Right on the screen, there's a little credit card on the top right-hand corner, or a little cart, and it literally allows you to flop back and forth. But the number one thing I'm going to tell you guys is know your merchant needs. Because this again doesn't fit everything. It's not a one-stop solving every world problem we're going to have in the payments world, but it is an awesome feature that can fit a lot of different merchants. We didn't get into the back end a whole lot yet, but there's a lot of additional options that we can use, such as WooCommerce, attaching everything in through WooCommerce on their website. There's a lot of features that is all built into one place, so you're not trying to piecemeal, like authorize.net with a device with X, Y, and Z. It just makes it a lot cleaner and one-stop shop versus going to multiple pages.
Awesome.
Yeah, and let's dive into some of that back office, some
Yeah.
of the capabilities that it has. Um, I know you're in the process of installing one of your merchants using the WooCommerce, but can you talk about maybe a little bit that you've learned through that, and then what are some of the other things, whether it's the invoicing or recurring payments or click to pay or things that you've seen some of your merchants using or you're planning to sell on
Yep.
as future features?
Yep. We're already using the invoicing tool at a couple of my clients. We're using it quite often. One client uses it every day, all day. That's that vinyl place that does all the graphics. He sends out invoices every single day. It's quick, easy to pay. You got ACH for the card or for the cash price. You got the ability to take card. You can dual price everything. It shows right up on the invoicing. Super slick and easy to use. Setup was very, very, very quick. We were done with install. Once you get your TPN, we were done with install for the invoicing in like 10 minutes. Me showing them how to put product in for the register light side of the world, which again shows up onto the P18 on the front end. It was quick, easy. He caught on in less than 5 minutes. And he's the one that we're also working on his website to be able to connect the WooCommerce side of it. We're getting very close to being able to launch that. It gives you an API key just like you would if you went through authorize.net. You just have to get an API key to log in for payment. And again, all of it then comes right into your portal on the back end. And it is very easy to see where that payment is coming from. It'll literally tell you P18. It'll tell you Cloud POS, which is your invoicing. Or it'll call it WooCommerce if you were to come in and look at your payments. So it's very, very convenient, easy to see how you're tracking where the payments are coming and who paid what.
What has been like as they're doing the response of your merchants when they see it working? What's been their general take? Is it just do they notice a difference from what they switched to? And I actually don't know what they're switching. Some of them, I think a couple of them, I think were switching from P devices from other processors to you and stuff. But as they've been doing this and you've been using this, what's been their experience, their response to using these new P series or the back office?
Yep. Number one, I'm going to keep picking on .com branding. I'm going to give him a shout out right here. Quick pick on him, as he's used a lot more of the features than a lot of places. The response is fantastic because it's all in one spot. You're not going to multiple spots to do things like currently his website's under authorize.net. He's using the invoicing tool through authorize.net. So you're looking there for part of it. And then we have the pay anywhere series over here for taking payment inside his business. So it's, you're looking at two spots at where are my payments coming from? What am I doing? Being able to bring all of that into one house has really simplified his processes, and he absolutely loves it. Going into the restaurant world, the devices are much faster, much cleaner, less problems as far as like, and I don't want to pick on other devices, but there are certain things that have happened in the back end with some of the other devices, like you can't reset the invoicing number back to 1. This does the easy stuff all day, every day. It's a cleaner look on the front facing screen for the merchant, and then also for the customer. The experience goes faster. The sales are much quicker. I was just talking with Dejavoo this morning, and we were talking about the positives of how much faster a sale can happen. 10 seconds is 10 seconds, but times that by 100 sales in a night, that's a lot of extra time that you get back to be doing more efficient things for your restaurant. So they're just a cleaner, faster, easier look, much more aesthetic on the eyes, not only from the merchant, but for the customer.
All right, Mike, Jenny, other questions as my camera decides to get way close to me. So
I don't know if it's my turn or not.
Go for it, Mike.
I think I was just going to reinforce what you're talking about, Ben, about gateways, and we've dealt with this several things. Just like okay, we always used authorize.net for years and years, and now we started doing Edge years ago, and now we had to pivot and use Fluid Pay instead. So this is again one of those things where if you have a merchant that's doing Edge on their hardware and doing Edge on a website, this can all be done in one place now instead of having to set up a Fluid Pay account, set up some sort of a hardware account. This is all done in one simple place. for a very similar price. So
Correct.
those are the things I think we need to start thinking about. As you mentioned, all that reporting is in one place. You do have all your reporting in Payments Hub if you're using Authorize.net and a Pay Anywhere terminal. But if you want to see it natively, now you would have, the Dejavoo portal to do it. So I'm just trying to clarify and emphasize some things that might make a difference to our group out there.
Well, and I
Absolutely,
think,
and I couldn't agree more. I apologize, Nate. I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah,
I
go for it.
couldn't agree more. Just the natively bringing everything into one house. I know you can go and look at Payments Hub, and yes, you can see all your transactions. The difference is you don't always know where all those transactions came from.
Yes.
You'll see them, but you don't know which did they come from authorized. Did they come from my in-house?
Yes.
Whereas if you go into the Dejavoo back end, you literally will see it says P18 right on the transaction. It'll say
Wow. Yeah.
Cloud POS for your invoicing, and I would say WooCommerce for any of your stuff from WooCommerce. So it does break it down really simple on that side.
What does it look, and you may not know this, what does it look like when, let's say you have 4 P8s? Can you then name each P8 which one? So you can say, hey, this, especially like if they're doing a quick service restaurant that they're using these and they're doing some type of handheld, so using the quick service light, maybe doing, so you can see which P8, it's Julie's, it's Jen's, it's Jenny's. I don't know. I can't come up with a name right now. Everything's J's. I don't know why, but but does it? You can identify which P8 it is, and it's so.
Yeah, we name them. I name them. So like I have a restaurant that has five P8s. We just name them P8 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do the same on the receiving side of the world. So you can throw a terminal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it'll show up on each receipt. The receipt has a TPN attached to the top, obviously, but it also will say terminal 5 on it. So when you're going down to your tips, it's really quick and simple if you're housing everything in one. The ability to capture everything on one unit, doesn't matter which one you grab. So it does make it real clean and real easy to be able to differentiate the different devices you have in your business.
Yep. And as I'll let Jenny and Mike any of the last questions, but I also know that you're going to be one of the first users, and I don't think you're up and running on that, but you're going to have some of your quick installs. Speaking of quick, Jerry Pierce over here says he thinks you work for Quick. Thanks, Jerry. Go back to Oklahoma. Sorry about OKC losing that first game. You guys came back and got the second game last night. But you're going to be the first one using the P8 integrations, correct? Hopefully up pretty soon on the new Quick POS. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Obviously, I know the P series really well, and then getting that integration to Quick. I know Quick very well. As Jerry says, I work for Quick, right? I just have dove in and got to understand their whole back end really, really well. But I can't wait for this integration. It's gonna be phenomenal. Nothing against the PAX series that they have in there or the iPads, but being able to get everything again on a system that you don't have to third party things to is going to be huge. I'm excited for Quick. I'm excited for Dejavoo and the marriage that they're building together. I'm hoping that we don't have to use, don't take this the wrong way with Authorize.net, but I hope we don't have to use Authorize.net any longer either for the online ordering. I'm hoping through Dejavoo we can just we can build the WooCommerce side and marry it all together.
I think there's certainly a plan to do that, and also with the new Samsung devices that I think you saw live and in person as well. We didn't cross paths, but we both were at the same booth at National Restaurant Show. Speaking of that, I'll be talking about my experiences at National Restaurant Show and POS Unleashed here at 1:30 Eastern. So come join me. Jenny, any closing questions for Ben?
I'm curious just about the businesses that this would really shine in versus some that you might want to stay away from and look at another system, because we talked about this is a fantastic system, but it's not the end all be all. So when you're talking to a merchant, what are you looking for that says, okay, this is going to be great for the P-Line series, versus you might look in another direction depending upon what they need? Like, what are you looking for when you start that conversation with the business owner?
Absolutely. If you're using it as a terminal mode only, the sky's the limit. You don't really have, it could fit everywhere, and very open on that side. What I'm looking for is more on the register light side of the world. Trying to find out, is it something that I need to put a POS in? How much do they really need from the POS perspective? and is the register light something that will work for them? Very small SKU amounts. You do not want to, again, put something in there that is going to make it cumbersome for them to find what they're trying to sell. I would keep it at a very small amount. And then number two is when you go to the register light side of the world, understanding how to enter your product so it's very quick and easy when you have to search for that product. Meaning the first word you name everything in the register world is the only word that comes up when you start to search. So I'll pick on restaurant. If you put latte hot, latte cold, and you're looking for cold stuff, like different cold frap, cold whatever, you can't put in cold and have every cold pop up because it's only the first word that'll show up. So it's just knowing how to enter it so that you're not making it harder for your merchant to be able to utilize. But the number one thing is just you gotta see, you got to get in and understand what the system can do. I can talk about it all day long, but you got to see it for yourself. And then number two is making sure that it's a fit and not trying to oversell what it is. That light series is fantastic, but it also has its limitations.
And I'm curious, in the restaurant world, I'm going to tack on to that. Is there a kitchen printer involved, or what does that setup look like? Because you said that you had a restaurant that had multiple terminals. What does that look like for that specific type of setup?
Yeah, so for them specifically, they use it all in terminal mode. We have 5. I think one place I have 5, one place I have 4, 3 or 4 terminals. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4, but anyway, we have multiple terminals in there. Each waitress actually carries their own terminal right in their apron. And so when they're going to check out, instead of having to walk back to grab the terminal, walk back to the table, make the transaction, go back to enter it into their handheld or their little old school register. Now everything is used on directly on the P series. They do cash sales on it. They do card sales on it. It tracks everything for them, and it's tracked to the specific person because we have servers turned on. Servers, you can put numbers in, or you could put names in, or you can do both. It allows a lot of flexibility on that side. They all use their own name. I have them so that once you put your name in, it locks it so that you don't have to change it unless you swap to a different terminal. And then you just got to click on the tag and change your name. There is no kitchen printer attached to this unless you go to the Pro Series, where that's where you get into the full-fledged point of sale side of the world. But ultimately at this, it's just taking payments at the tables, tracking tips, tracking who's doing what from a server standpoint for cash and card sales.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, and it's specifically as you're using this is for that quick service diner place that are still doing table handwritten tabs, handing it back, not looking to use a kitchen printer or a kitchen display. Dejavoo does have some of those capabilities when you go to the Pro side. We're still learning that, so we're actually, we'll do a future episode on that once we have some installations of that. But I do really, how many places still can just work in terminal mode and they're using old cash register and doing handwritten tickets and are not ready to make that jump? These P series are going to be great. Those P8s just work really, really well. And looking, any other questions? I will let's see. The multi-terminal installation runs light register. Let's see if I can see it. The multi-terminal installation runs which light program, register or POS? So it's
called register light.
Yeah. So it is register light, and it's just kind of comes with the system on that. And then there's the POS, which is a different, we're not even talking about that today. We're not going to go into that because none of us have the experience yet to totally understand it.
It's any terminal though, Dan.
Yep.
You can have any of that installed, but like Nate's saying, we're not on to the POS level yet.
Yep. And the register light, I will say this, it like as you get onto that P18 screen, you were talking, it looks different than it does. It works on the P8 but the P18 just obviously when you get to a bigger form factor and you're having 15 items on there, it looks better on the bigger screen than it does on the smaller screen. But both are usable. Yeah,
less scrolling, right?
Yep. But all right, any other questions before we answer the question here? And what is your favorite toast killer for pizzeria? They hear you're the restaurant king of northern Wisconsin, taking over all the restaurants and competing with Toast and Square and pizza places. What would be your solution there for Dan from OK?
Dan, I firmly am behind Quick. They do a phenomenal job when it comes to the POS side of the world. just don't oversell. I always say undersell, over deliver. Make sure that and if you have questions, by all means, you guys, anybody can reach to me. Nate, they can go to you guys and then get in touch with me at any point in time. But I know Quick very inside and out. Quick will compete against any POS, especially restaurant worldwide. There is really not an area that we can't compete in. And I feel like there are some limitations at times, but the vast majority of the restaurant world, there is no issue with getting in and doing anything that Toast does, and probably better in most cases.
Perfect. All right. Closing thoughts, questions, Mike, Jenny, anything we've missed that you want to get while we have Ben on here?
Nothing from me. I'm good.
I'm set.
All right. Well, Ben, thank you for being a loyal partner of PayProTec and a great friend.
Absolutely.
And being part of the family here. Number 2, thank you for jumping in here and making sure the P Series works, and then telling us about it, and kind of getting us all up and running. And it's going to be fun to watch as we continue to grow together and continue to see great things. I'll do one little advertisement as we finish up here today. If you're going to be in Miami June 8th, as we're going to be June 8th to 10 down for SCAA, we're going to be hosting a little get together at 7 o'clock on June 8th. We'll be putting out some advertising, but you can make sure you just mark that on your calendar. We want to make sure you're all able to be there with us. And we're going to have a special time at the bungalows at the Cadillac right next to the Fontainebleau, having some food and drinks and getting to know each other and engaging and just having some fun. So make sure you do that. And number 2, make sure you have a wonderful Memorial Day. I mean, as we close out, favorite Memorial Day plans or favorite memory. You can do one or both. Let's see. I'm going to make Mike go first, then Jenny, then Ben, and then we'll close out our favorite Memorial Day memories. What are we? Mike, what do you got? Or plans? What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Since Chris and I have been married, which is tomorrow, will be 16 years. Is that right?
We won't hold you to that, but good job knowing, Mike. Yep.
Yeah, it is 2010. So yeah, 16 years tomorrow. Since I joined their family, her parents have always had a Memorial Day Sunday cookout on the lake. The race is playing in the background. Hopefully the weather will be decent. We're not going to be as fortunate as Wisconsin, I don't think. Weather's definitely going to be in the 60s, and the water will still be too cold, but looking like sun. But I'm very thankful for that memory and the kickoff to summer, and the ability to gather with some family that's further away we don't see as often. So that's our big thing we do on Memorial Day Sunday.
Awesome. All right, Jenny, how about you?
I would say some of my favorite memories when my kids were younger, we would always just go to the pool, right? And as some of you know, my children are not young anymore. I have grown adults. So I don't get to go to the pool with my kids anymore. And so when you have that time and the sun is shining and you can get an ice cream cone and just hang out by the pool, it's fantastic. So those are definitely some of my favorite memories.
Love it. And Ben, how about you?
Being here in the great state of Wisconsin, this is about the time it starts to warm up. So our Memorial weekend is always get the house ready for summer, kind of come out of hibernation, right? It's usually pretty low key. A lot of graduations around here. My hometown where I grew up, I have a lot of family that still goes to school there. So graduations every year. We end up at graduation parties this weekend. But Brewer baseball, man, that's number 1. I don't want to go into the last 3 days, but
hey,
Brewer baseball.
God,
you guys swept
you guys
us.
Are going back to Milwaukee. Goodbye.
So, we are the hot and cold team this year. We can two times of 10 wins or more, and then we get cold for a little while. We'll see what happens in this year. But I hope everyone has a wonderful. My memories always are just I love the cookouts. I love the times, and I am still deciding whether the rain. Going to the Indianapolis 500 is one of my highlights. I love to do it. I've done it 4 times. I was thinking about taking the kids this year, but then they had higher, 50% chance of rain. And I'm like, well, I'll hold off. I'll buy the tickets at the last minute, because I will say A 4-hour to 5-hour experience at the Indianapolis 500 is perfect. A 10 to 12-hour experience at the Indianapolis 500, too much for me. I'm just not that big of a racing fan. So, but also, if you ever get a chance to go to the Indy 500 and experience, 350,000 plus people in one location, all watching one thing, I don't know. There's nothing like it, and I don't know that I will ever. I've been to a couple other races. It's just amazing. So if you get a chance to do it, and you can swing by and say hi to me. I'm only about 5 miles away from the racetrack, so on the north side. So on that, we'll say happy Memorial Day. We'll see you next time on Office Hours. Thank you, Ben Wickersheim, so much for joining us, and we hope you guys have an incredible weekend. Enjoy your Monday off. Cheers, everybody.
See ya.